Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening. Echoes of the Unknown. The mining ship Helios drifted silently through the Kuiper Belt, its massive collection arrays spread like metallic wings against the star-speckled void. In the observation deck, Commander Sarah Chen watched distant ice crystals dance in their spotlights, each sparkle holding the promise of valuable minerals. 10 years of deep space mining operations had taught her to read these subtle signs, but nothing in her experience had prepared her for what they would find today. "Commander, we're picking up unusual energy signatures from asteroid KBO 2247, Lieutenant Marcus Park's voice crackled through the ship's comm system. Well, you should see this yourself." Sarah made her way to the bridge, her magnetic boots clicking against the metal floor. The Helios was Earth's most advanced mining vessel, but it still felt cramped with its crew of 50. Every corridor served multiple purposes, every cubic meter carefully utilized. As she entered the bridge, the main display showed a rotating image of their target asteroid, a potato-shaped rock about 3 kilometers long. "Show me the anomaly," she ordered, settling into her command chair. Marcus, a young officer with a reputation for thoroughness, brought up a new overlay. Bright purple lines crisscrossed the asteroid's surface, forming patterns too regular to be natural. "These energy signatures don't match anything in our database. They're pulsing in a repeated sequence, almost like they're trying to get our attention," Sarah finished. She studied the patterns, her heart racing, despite years of training. This wasn't just another routine mining operation anymore. Full scan. "I want to know everything about that rock before we get any closer." The next few hours were a blur of activity. Every sensor on the Helios was focused on KBO 2247, gathering data that only deepened the mystery. The energy patterns were clearly artificial, but they predated human spaceflight by at least several thousand years. As the crew debated theories, Sarah noticed something else: the patterns were changing, responding to their scans. "It's definitely active," Dr. Emily Santos, their xenotechnologist, confirmed. "Whatever this technology is, it's not just some ancient relic. It's functioning, and it seems to be studying us back." Sarah made her decision. "Prep the landing team. We're going to take a closer look." The shuttle bay was a hive of activity as Sarah suited up with her team: Marcus, Emily, and Chief Engineer James Wong. Their EVA suits were the latest model, designed for both protection and mobility in zero gravity. As they ran final checks, Sarah addressed her team. "We stick to protocol. No unnecessary risks. If anything feels off, we abort immediately. Earth's been waiting for proof of alien life for centuries. We can afford to be cautious now that we might have found it." The shuttle ride to the asteroid's surface was tense. Up close, the purple energy patterns were even more striking, casting an ethereal glow across the ancient rock. They landed near the strongest signal source, their shuttle's landing struts sending up puffs of frozen particles. "Gravity's minimal," James reported as they stepped onto the surface. "Stay tethered and watch your jets." They moved carefully across the asteroid's surface, following the energy readings. The patterns seemed to respond to their presence, pulsing more intensely as they approached. After about 20 minutes of careful navigation, they found it a smooth, crystalline structure protruding from the rock, unlike anything naturally occurring. "It's some kind of control panel," Emily suggested, running her scanner over the crystal surface. "These patterns, they're not random. It's a language, or at least a form of communication." Sarah reached out toward the crystal, her hand hovering just above its surface. The purple light seemed to focus on her, intensifying. "Dr. Santos, are you recording this?" "Everything, Commander." "Wait, there's a spike in the energy readings." The crystal suddenly flared with brilliant light, enveloping Sarah's hand. She tried to pull back, but found herself frozen in place as strange symbols danced across her helmet's heads-up display. "Commander." Marcus moved to help her, but Sarah held up her other hand. "I'm okay," she said, though her voice shook slightly. "It's not harmful. It's showing me something. The images flooded her mind, crystalline beings of pure energy, a vast network of connected consciousness spanning galaxies, and a terrible darkness consuming everything in its path. She saw great ships made of living crystal, fleeing from system to system. And through it all, a single message repeated. Help us. The light faded as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving Sarah gasping. The crystal structure had changed, now showing clear signs of an opening mechanism. Commander, your vital signs are all over the place, Marcus said, concern evident in his voice. We should get you back to the ship. No, Sarah straightened, her decision already made. We're not leaving. Whatever this is, whoever left this here, they've been waiting a long time for someone to find them. And they chose to communicate with us. Emily's scanner beeped urgently. Commander, you need to see this. The crystal, it's restructuring itself at the molecular level. It's becoming compatible with our technology. Sarah nodded, her mind still processing the images she'd seen. They're adapting to us. This isn't just first contact, it's an invitation. She touched her comm unit. Helios, this is Commander Chen. Log this as first contact protocol initiated. We've found something that's going to change everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. As if in response, the crystal structure began to unfold like a blooming flower, revealing a doorway into the asteroid's interior. Purple light spilled out, illuminating their suits with its alien glow. Orders, Commander? Marcus asked, his hand hovering near his sidearm. Sarah took a deep breath, knowing her next decision would change the course of human history. We go in. But first, I want a message sent to Earth. Tell them humanity's not alone anymore. And we have a lot to learn. The team exchanged glances, years of training warring with the sheer magnitude of what they were about to do. This was what they'd all dreamed of, proof that humanity wasn't alone in the universe. But as Sarah led them toward the entrance, she couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't just discovering alien life. They were answering a call for help. And whatever waited inside that crystal structure would challenge everything they thought they knew about the universe. And humanity's place in it. The purple light embraced them as they stepped through the doorway, their suit lights creating dancing shadows on the crystalline walls. Sarah Chen, a commander who had always prided herself on being prepared for anything, felt a shiver of both fear and excitement run down her spine. This was just the beginning. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, something was waiting for humanity to prove itself worthy of the stars. Remember, she said to her team as they ventured deeper into the unknown, whatever we find in here, we're making history. Let's make sure it's the right kind. The crystal door sealed behind them with a soft chime, marking the moment humanity took its first real step into a much larger universe. Crystal whispers. The crystalline corridor stretched before them, pulsing with an inner light that seemed to respond to their presence. Commander Sarah Chen led her team deeper into the alien structure, each step echoing against the translucent walls. Their suit lights created prismatic patterns that danced across the surfaces, making it feel like they were walking through a living rainbow. These readings are off the charts, Emily whispered, her scanner whirring constantly. The entire structure is one interconnected crystalline matrix. It's like a giant computer, but organic somehow. As they rounded a corner, the corridor opened into a vast chamber that drew gasps from the entire team. The ceiling soared at least 50 meters high, its surface covered in what looked like constellations made of purple light. In the center of the room stood a towering pillar of crystal, surrounded by floating platforms that moved in a graceful dance. Movement detected, Marcus announced, his hand instinctively moving to his weapon. From behind the crystal pillar, a figure emerged, but not one any of them had expected. The being was humanoid in shape, but its body appeared to be made entirely of translucent crystal, shot through with veins of purple energy. It moved with liquid grace, each step leaving small ripples of light in the air. When it spoke, its voice resonated directly in their minds. Welcome, children of Earth. We are the Zar'keth. We have waited long for beings capable of receiving our call. Sarah stepped forward, her training kicking in despite her amazement. I'm Commander Sarah Chen of the mining vessel Helios. We come in peace. The crystalline being's form shimmed with what might have been amusement. Peace is precisely what we seek, Commander. Your species possesses something unique in all our travels, something we desperately need. Before anyone could react, tendrils of purple energy reached out from the central pillar, gently enveloping each team member. Sarah felt a tingling sensation throughout her body, but no pain. Images began flooding her mind again, but this time clearer, more focused. She saw the Zar'keth civilization, vast cities of living crystal, ships that sailed on solar winds, and a harmonious society that had existed for millions of years. But then came the darkness she'd glimpsed before, a force that consumed entire star systems, leaving only silence in its wake. The Void Hunters, the Zar'keth explained, its mental voice heavy with sorrow. They feed on consciousness itself, destroying civilizations, to harvest their collective knowledge. We fled, hiding our remnants throughout the galaxy, waiting for a species that could help us fight back. Why us? James asked, his engineer's curiosity overcoming his caution. What makes humans special? The being moved closer, its crystalline form refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. Your bioelectric fields are unique in all our studies. Your brains generate patterns of energy that can interface with our technology in ways we never thought possible. You call it consciousness, we call it the spark of creation. Emily's scanner suddenly began beeping rapidly. Commander, the crystal matrix is attempting to synchronize with our neural patterns. It's trying to create a bridge between our minds and their technology. The Zar'keth nodded, sending ripples of light through its form. Your understanding is swift. We have developed technology that can amplify this connection, allowing humans to control our most advanced systems. But we need volunteers to test the interface. Sarah felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. This wasn't just first contact anymore, this was a request for help from an ancient civilization. The implications were staggering. The neural interfaces, are they safe? She asked, already knowing she would volunteer regardless of the answer. There are unknowns, the being admitted. Your species' consciousness operates differently than any we have encountered. The results could be unprecedented. Suddenly, alarms blared from their suit's communication systems. Marcus quickly checked his display. Commander, we're getting emergency signals from the Helios. They've detected multiple objects entering the system at high speed. The Zar'keth's form flickered with what Sarah now recognized as fear. They have found us sooner than expected. The Void Hunters approach. You must decide quickly, Commander Chen. Will humanity stand with us, or will you flee? Sarah looked at her team, seeing the mix of fear and determination in their eyes. This was the moment that would define not just their mission, but possibly the future of human civilization itself. Show us how the interface works, she said firmly. If there's even a chance we can help, we have to try. The crystal being led them to a series of chambers off the main room. Inside each was what looked like a chair made of living crystal, surrounded by floating displays of purple energy. These are our neural amplification chambers, the Zar'keth explained. They will allow your consciousness to merge with our systems, giving you control over our defensive capabilities. But I must warn you, no other species has successfully integrated with our technology at this level. Sarah removed her helmet, feeling the cool, processed air of the alien structure on her skin for the first time. What happens if it doesn't work? Best case? Nothing. Worst case? The being's form rippled. Your consciousness could be lost within our matrix. Forever. Emily stepped forward, her scientific curiosity evident. The neural patterns are similar to human brainwaves, just operating at a higher frequency. If we can calibrate the interface correctly. We don't have time for extensive testing, Marcus interrupted, checking his displays. Those objects will reach us in less than 6 hours. Sarah made her decision. I'll do it. If anything goes wrong, get back to the ship and warn Earth. She turned to the Zar'keth. How do we begin? The crystalline being guided her to one of the chairs. As she sat down, the crystal seemed to mold itself to her form, creating a perfect fit. Purple energy began swirling around her, creating connections with her skin. Open your mind, the Zar'keth instructed. Let your consciousness expand beyond its normal boundaries. Our technology will do the rest. Sarah closed her eyes, trying to relax, despite the gravity of the situation. She felt a tingling sensation, starting at the base of her skull, spreading throughout her body. The world began to fade away, replaced by streams of pure information. She could feel the entire crystalline structure around her, every corridor and chamber becoming an extension of her own body. More than that, she could sense the Zar'keth themselves, not just the one in the room with them, but thousands more in suspended animation throughout the asteroid. Remarkable, the Zar'keth's voice echoed in her expanded consciousness. Your neural patterns are adapting faster than we thought possible. You truly are unique among all the species we have encountered. Through her new awareness, Sarah could feel the approaching threat more clearly now. The Void Hunters were unlike anything humanity had imagined, vast ships of dark matter, piloted by beings of pure entropy. They didn't just destroy civilizations, they erased them from existence itself. Commander? Marcus's voice seemed to come from very far away. Your vital signs are fluctuating. Should we pull you out? No, Sarah replied, her voice carrying harmonic overtones that made the crystal walls resonate. I can feel everything. The ship, the defenses, and something else. Something the Zar'keth didn't know their technology could do. The crystalline being moved closer, its form showing signs of both excitement and concern. What do you see, Commander Chen? Sarah opened her eyes, but they now glowed with the same purple energy that filled the chamber. I see a way to fight back. But we're going to need help from both our peoples. And we need to move fast. As if to emphasize her point, another alarm sounded. The Void Hunters had accelerated. They would arrive in less than 4 hours. The race to save 2 civilizations had begun. Minds of light and shadow. Inside the neural amplification chamber, Sarah's consciousness expanded further into the crystalline network, discovering capabilities that even the Zar'keth hadn't imagined possible. Through her enhanced awareness, she could feel the Helios in orbit, her crew's mounting concern, and the approaching darkness of the Void Hunters. We need to evacuate non-essential personnel from the Helios, she commanded, her voice resonating with harmonic frequencies. The Void Hunters will target our ship first, they can sense the concentration of consciousness. Marcus quickly relayed the orders while Emily and James worked with the Zar'keth to understand the defensive systems Sarah was now connected to. The crystalline being guided them through the asteroid's capabilities, its form flickering with increasing urgency. Commander, Emily called out, studying her readings. Your neural patterns are evolving. The interface is changing your brain's electrical activity. Sarah could feel it happening. Her thoughts moved faster, clearer, racing through the crystal matrix like lightning. She saw possibilities branching out before her, countless potential futures, each dependent on the choices they made in the next few hours. The Void Hunters don't just destroy civilizations, she explained, watching the approaching ships through the asteroid's advanced sensors. They consume consciousness itself, adding it to their collective. They're a virus of the mind, spreading across the galaxy. The Zar'keth's form pulsed with confirmation. We fled when we discovered their true nature. Our crystalline technology, our very essence, was too tempting a target. But now, with your unique neural patterns, we can fight back, Sarah finished. She stood from the neural chair, purple energy crackling around her like a living aurora. But we need more interfaces. More humans connected to the network. James stepped forward, his engineering mind already grasping the possibilities. The crystal responds to human consciousness in ways it never did for the Zar'keth. We're not just users, we're amplifiers. Emergency alerts flashed through the chamber as the first escape pods launched from the Helios, carrying non-essential crew to safe distances. The remaining crew would be crucial for what Sarah had planned. Marcus, Emily, I need you both in interface chairs, Sarah ordered. James, work with the Zar'keth to modify the remaining chambers. We'll need at least 10 more volunteers from the Helios. As her team moved to comply, Sarah shared her plan through the crystal network. The Zar'keth's response was immediate, a mixture of hope and astonishment rippling through their collective consciousness. What you propose has never been attempted, the crystalline being cautioned. Merging human neural patterns with our defensive matrix on such a scale could either save both our species or destroy us all, Sarah acknowledged. But we're out of options. The next 2 hours passed in a blur of activity. More crew members arrived from the Helios, each carefully selected for their mental resilience and technical expertise. James and the Zar'keth worked frantically to modify the interface chambers, while Emily documented the unprecedented changes in human neural patterns. Marcus was the first to join Sarah in the network, his consciousness merging with the crystal matrix. His military training provided a structured foundation that complemented Sarah's more intuitive understanding. This is incredible, his thoughts echoed through the network. I can see everything. Feel everything. One by one, others joined the neural link. Each new mind added depth and complexity to their shared consciousness, creating something entirely new, a hybrid of human intuition and Zar'keth technology. Sarah guided them through the initial disorientation, helping each person find their place in the collective while maintaining their individual identity. Through their combined awareness, she could now see the full scope of what they faced. The Void Hunters' ships were massive constructs of dark energy, each carrying millions of absorbed consciousnesses, trapped in a perpetual state of entropy. They didn't just destroy, they unmade reality itself, leaving holes in the fabric of space-time. There within Jupiter's orbit, Emily reported, her consciousness tinged with scientific fascination, despite the danger. Their technology, it's like nothing we've ever seen. Sarah focused their collective consciousness, channeling it through the asteroid's defensive systems. Purple energy began to pulse through the entire structure, growing stronger with each human mind that joined the network. The Void Hunters feed on consciousness, she explained to the linked minds around her. But they've never encountered anything like us before. Human consciousness doesn't just exist, it creates. We imagine. We dream. We change. Through the crystal matrix, she could feel the Zar'keth's growing excitement. Their ancient technology was responding to human neural patterns in ways they'd never thought possible, creating new configurations, new possibilities. We're not going to just fight them, Sarah declared, her consciousness resonating through the network. We're going to show them something they've never seen before, the power of human creativity, combined with Zar'keth technology. The asteroid's surface began to transform, crystal structures growing and reshaping themselves according to the collective will of the linked humans. What had been simple defensive arrays became something more, a physical manifestation of human imagination enhanced by alien technology. First wave of Void Hunters entering the asteroid belt, Marcus reported, his military training providing tactical clarity through the neural link. Sarah felt a moment of doubt, not in their plan, but in the weight of responsibility she carried. 12 human minds were now linked through the crystal matrix, their consciousness expanded far beyond normal human limits. If she was wrong about this, the Zar'keth sensed her concern. Your species constantly surprises us, Commander Chen. You face the unknown not with fear, but with determination and creativity. Perhaps that is why you were meant to find us. Sarah straightened, purple energy crackling around her physical form as she channeled the collective consciousness of humans and Zar'keth alike. Through the neural link, she could feel her crew's trust, their determination, their willingness to face whatever came next. All interfaces at full power, James reported, his engineering expertise monitoring the system's stability. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it soon. The void ships entered visual range, massive, dark shapes that seemed to absorb both light and hope. Reality distorted around them, space itself screaming in protest at their passage. Sarah opened her eyes, which now blazed with purple fire. Through the neural network, she addressed both her human crew and their Zar'keth allies. Let's show them what happens when humanity and creativity meet advanced technology. It's time to rewrite the rules of this fight. The first Void Hunter ship launched its attack, a beam of pure entropy that could erase matter from existence. But this time, instead of finding helpless prey, they encountered something entirely new, a force born from the merger of human consciousness and crystalline technology. And in that moment, the true battle for survival began. The light of creation. The first attack from the Void Hunters struck the asteroid like a wave of darkness, threatening to unmake everything it touched. But instead of destruction, something unprecedented happened. The combined consciousness of 12 humans, channeled through Zar'keth technology, created a shield of pure creative energy. Purple light met absolute darkness in a spectacular collision of opposing forces. Through the neural network, Sarah felt every mind linked with hers respond instinctively, each contributing their unique perspective to their defense. Impossible, the thought echoed from the Void Hunters, their first direct communication rippling through space. This consciousness, it resists entropy. Sarah channeled the collective human response through the crystal matrix. We don't just resist it, we transform it. That's what humans do. We take the unknown and make it our own. The asteroid's surface erupted with crystalline growths, each formation shaped by human imagination and powered by Zar'keth technology. Engineers in the neural network created geometric patterns that redirected the entropy attacks. Scientists analyzed the void ship's weaknesses. Military minds coordinated their defense. They're trying to adapt to our shield, Marcus reported through the link. Multiple void ships moving to surround us. Emily's consciousness added to the tactical display. Their energy signature changes when they attack. There's a moment of vulnerability. Then that's our chance, Sarah declared. James, remember those crystal formation simulations you were running? The engineer's excitement rippled through the network. Converting thought into physical structure? Yeah, but we hadn't tested. No time like the present. Everyone, focus your thoughts through James's framework. Let's show them what human creativity really means. The linked humans concentrated, their combined consciousness flowing through the crystal matrix like lightning. The asteroid's surface transformed again, but this time with purpose. Massive crystalline cannons emerged, designed by human minds and brought to life by alien technology. Multiple void ships charging weapons, Marcus warned. They're going to hit us from all sides. Sarah felt every mind in the network brace for impact. Now we show them our response. Fire. The crystalline weapons activated, but they didn't shoot conventional energy beams. Instead, they launched concentrated bursts of human consciousness, each carrying the creative potential that made humanity unique. Where these bursts struck the void ships, reality itself seemed to hiccup. Direct hits. James called out. Their entropy fields are destabilizing. Through the neural link, Sarah could see what was happening. The Void Hunters had never encountered consciousness that could actively resist and transform their entropy effect. Each burst of human creativity acted like a virus in their systems, introducing chaos into their ordered destruction. One of the void ships began to break apart, its dark energy containment failing. But instead of exploding, it started to transform. Crystal structures grew across its surface, converting the engine of destruction into something new. They're pulling back, Marcus reported. Regrouping for another attack. Sarah pushed her consciousness deeper into the crystal matrix, feeling the strain of maintaining such an expanded awareness. They're not just retreating. They're afraid. They've never encountered anything they couldn't consume before. The Zar'keth's excitement rippled through the network. Your species' ability to imagine, to create even in the face of destruction, it's anathema to their very nature. But the victory was far from certain. The remaining void ships launched a coordinated attack, their entropy beams converging from multiple angles. The shield of human consciousness held, but Sarah could feel the strain on the neural interfaces. Power fluctuations in the crystal matrix, James warned. We can't maintain this level of output much longer. Emily's scientific mind raced through possibilities. The interfaces weren't designed for this kind of sustained use. Our brains are evolving faster than the system can adapt. Sarah felt it too, the burning sensation as her consciousness stretched beyond its limits. But she also sensed something else, a possibility hidden in the interaction between human minds and crystalline technology. Everyone, listen carefully, she projected through the network. We need to push further. Not just defend, but transform. The Void Hunters consume consciousness, let's show them what consciousness can really do. She guided the linked minds deeper into the crystal matrix, past the normal boundaries of human awareness. Here, in this space between thought and reality, she found what she was looking for, the pure potential of human creativity, unfettered by physical limits. Do you feel it? She asked her crew. The point where imagination becomes real? One by one, they acknowledged it. The crystal matrix hummed with power as human consciousness expanded beyond its original design, transforming the very nature of the Zar'keth technology. The void ships launched another attack, but this time, something different happened. Instead of just defending, the crystal structure began to sing. Pure tones of creation resonated through space, carrying the combined creative potential of humanity amplified by alien technology. Where this wave of sound met the entropy beams, reality reshaped itself. The void ship's weapons didn't just fail, they transformed, darkness becoming light, destruction becoming creation. It's working. Emily's excitement pulsed through the network. Their entropy field is inverting. Sarah pushed harder, guiding the combined consciousness of her crew. Keep going. Show them what humanity dreams of. The singing crystals grew louder, their harmony carrying human hopes, dreams, and determination into space. The void ships tried to retreat, but it was too late. The wave of creative energy washed over them, and where it passed, they changed. Dark energy became crystal. Entropy became potential. The consciousness they had consumed began to wake up, transformed by contact with human creativity. There, transforming, Marcus observed in awe. Not just the ships, the Void Hunters themselves. Sarah watched through the crystal matrix as their enemies became something new. The beings of pure entropy found themselves experiencing creation for the first time, their very nature reshaped by contact with human consciousness. But the victory came at a cost. The neural interfaces were overloading, unable to contain the expanded human consciousness they now channeled. Warning signals flashed through the network as systems began to fail. "Commander," James called urgently. "We need to power down before." The crystal matrix surged with energy, and Sarah felt her consciousness expand one final time. In that moment, she saw everything, the true nature of reality, the potential of combined human and alien technology, and the path forward for both species. As the neural interfaces began to overload, she made her final move, not to destroy the Void Hunters, but to complete their transformation. The last thing she saw before the system overloaded was a wave of purple light spreading through space, carrying the seeds of change to both friend and former foe alike. Then, in a flash of blinding light, everything changed. Evolution Symphony. Consciousness returned slowly, like waves lapping at the shores of awareness. Sarah opened her eyes to find herself lying in the Helios's medical bay, surrounded by the soft hum of monitoring equipment. But something was different, she could still feel echoes of the crystal matrix, threads of connection linking her to something vast and beautiful. "Welcome back, Commander," Dr. Emily Santos said softly, her own eyes now carrying a subtle purple sheen. "You've been unconscious for 3 days." Sarah sat up carefully, noting how the room's electronic displays seemed to respond to her thoughts. "The others?" "All stable. The neural interfaces changed us, Sarah." "All of us?" Emily gestured to a nearby window, and Sarah gasped at what she saw. The asteroid had transformed. What had been a simple rock was now a massive crystalline structure, its surface covered in intricate patterns that pulsed with purple light. But more incredible were the ships surrounding it, the former void ships, now transformed into beautiful crystal vessels that seemed to sing as they moved through space. The Void Hunters? Sarah asked, though she could already sense the answer through her enhanced awareness. Transformed, Emily confirmed. Your last action through the Matrix didn't just change their ships, it changed their very nature. They're something entirely new now. We all are. As if summoned by her words, a familiar crystalline figure entered the medical bay, the Zar'keth who had first greeted them. But it too had changed, its form now carrying hints of human characteristics. Commander Chen, it spoke, its voice now audible rather than just mental. You have done more than save us. You have shown us a new path of evolution. Sarah stood, feeling strength return to her body. With each movement, she sensed the enhanced connection between her consciousness and the technology around her. Explain. The Zar'keth gestured, creating a holographic display in the air. The merging of human consciousness with our technology created something unprecedented, a bridge between organic and crystalline existence. The wave you released didn't just transform the Void Hunters, it opened a door for all of us. The display showed cellular scans of the human crew. Their neural patterns had permanently altered, creating new pathways that allowed direct interaction with crystalline technology. They weren't just interfacing anymore, they were evolving. And the Void Hunters? Sarah asked, watching as one of the transformed ships danced through space, trailing light instead of darkness. They now create instead of consume, Emily explained excitedly. Their consciousness has been inverted. Where they once sought to absorb and destroy, they now seek to build and transform. They're helping us understand the changes in our own biology. Sarah walked to the window, placing her hand against the cool glass. She could feel the vibrations of the crystalline ships, their songs carrying messages of creation and possibility. The very fabric of space seemed different now, more alive with potential. The Matrix overload, she remembered suddenly. How did we survive? The Zar'keth's form shimmered with what she now recognized as joy. Your final action wasn't just an attack, it was an evolution. You found the resonance between human creativity and our technology, then amplified it across all of us. The overload didn't destroy the interfaces, it completed them. As if to demonstrate, Sarah focused on a nearby medical display. It responded instantly, showing exactly the information she wanted. More than that, she could feel the system's potential, its ability to grow and change based on her thoughts. We've had requests from Earth, Emily added. Once they saw what happened, every major government and scientific organization started calling. They want to know if this evolution can be shared. Sarah considered this, feeling the weight of the decision. Humanity had just taken an evolutionary leap, gaining abilities that bordered on the miraculous. The responsibility was enormous. Show me the changes, she requested. The Zar'keth complied, creating a more detailed hologram that mapped the transformation of human consciousness. The neural patterns were beautiful, intricate webs of light that showed how human creativity had merged with crystalline precision. They weren't just interfacing with technology anymore, they were becoming something new, a bridge between organic and artificial life. The void ships are asking to land, Marcus's voice came through the ship's comm, carrying new harmonics that hadn't existed before. They want to learn from us, just as we want to learn from them. Sarah smiled, feeling the resonance of possibility through her enhanced consciousness. Grant them permission. It's time we all learned from each other. The next few hours were filled with meetings and demonstrations as the transformed crew of the Helios showed their new abilities. They could manipulate technology with a thought, communicate across vast distances, and even reshape matter at its most fundamental level. But more importantly, they had gained a new understanding of existence itself. The Void Hunters, once beings of pure entropy, now helped create new forms of crystal technology. The Zar'keth, formerly bound by the limitations of their crystalline nature, learned to dream and imagine like humans. Standing on the Helios's observation deck, Sarah watched as the first joint construction project began. Humans, Zar'keth, and transformed Void Hunters worked together, using their combined abilities to create a new kind of space station, one that would serve as both an outpost and a school for this new form of existence. "What do we call ourselves now?" Emily asked, joining her at the window. "We're not just human anymore, but we're not fully crystalline either." Sarah considered this as she watched purple light dance between the workers, their shared consciousness creating structures of impossible beauty. "We're the bridge," she decided. "The ones who proved that evolution doesn't have to mean conflict. That different forms of life can come together to create something greater than the sum of their parts." The Zar'keth appeared beside them, its form now permanently altered by contact with human consciousness. "And what of Earth? Will they accept this change?" "They'll be afraid at first," Sarah acknowledged. "Change always brings fear. But they'll also see the potential. Humanity has always dreamed of touching the stars, now we can show them how to become one with them." As if in response to her words, the crystalline ships began a new song, their harmonies carrying through space. The transformed void hunters added their own voice, no longer a force of destruction but a catalyst for creation. And beneath it all, human consciousness provided the spark of imagination that made everything possible. Besides, Sarah smiled, feeling the pulse of possibility through her enhanced awareness. We're not just changing ourselves. We're changing the very nature of existence. And this is just the beginning. The purple light of creation spread through space, carrying the promise of a new era. Humanity had taken its first steps beyond traditional evolution, proving that consciousness itself could transform the universe. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, other civilizations would soon see the light of their transformation, a beacon calling them to join in the symphony of evolution. The story of humanity hadn't ended with this change, it had only begun its next chapter. And this time, they would write it together with beings who had once been enemies, in a language of light and creation that transcended all barriers. Sarah Chen, the commander who had led humanity into this new age, watched as another crystal ship took shape among the stars. Its form was neither human nor alien, but something entirely new, a physical manifestation of what consciousness could achieve when it dared to evolve. The universe, it seemed, had been waiting for exactly this moment. And the song of creation was only getting started.